I want to thank to each and every one of you all. First of all, salutations to my madrina, Oba, and my madrina. I want to say also to those that are practicing the ATRs, this is supposed to be Black History Month. So we want to keep and strive melanated people that have been built the backs of this country and continuously to fund the business of other people. Hopefully, as you get a chance to get this live, if this is your first time tuning in, I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. These are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that have been participating in our lives and giving me opportunity as the chief to give you information that is necessary for your development. To each and every one of you guys, I want to say bravos to all of you that have been continuously striving to learn and to develop and understand. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It is not easy, so everybody not doing it. I want to say thank you to my tribe and all of my supporters that have been out here riding for Apostle Ely, even through my process. I'm at the church. I was looking for my ETOP book, but I've been cleaning up and getting these altars together. But I want to say to each and every one of y'all, thank you so much for believing in me and believing in yourself. Most of all, allowing me to come in here and to constantly give it out as much knowledge, wisdom, understanding as I can. I want to say to each and every one of you guys, I am excited about what God is doing in my life personally, in spite of what has taken place when it comes down to this medicine. But I am recovering rapidly. I know my enemies, adversaries, and haters don't want to hear that, but I'm recovering rapidly and convincingly to at least to the doctors. I got an appointment tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I want to say, first of all, I want to share this to all of you that eventually are going to service people in spirituality. Also to those that are servicing people. I've been doing conjures since I've been a child. I'm 52 years of age, and I have seen a lot. I've heard a lot. I've experienced a lot. Some things I didn't experience because I don't play the radio. So therefore, I can't speak on those things because I would never go for some of the things that the spiritually go for. And so therefore, I can't speak on those things because I don't have a problem. I'm cutting somebody off. I don't have a problem with chastising people. I don't have a problem with cursing people. So some things I don't deal with. So I like to be honest and transparent about some of this stuff. I know it goes on, but it doesn't. If it goes on with me, it don't go on alone. So I don't have a long-term testimony. One of the things I want to talk about today. This is Monday, and I want to talk about this because this right here is going to let you know if you are teaching the right thing or you're not. This is going to let you know if you're talking the right thing or not. This is going to let you know if you are on in your path or not. Okay? I have 3 things that will get you completely ignored in these spiritual streets. I want to talk about these 3 things. I want to break them down. I want you to understand. If you possess these three things, or at least one of these things, you will be completely ignored in these spiritual streets. Okay? We're going to talk about them things. First of all, we need to clarify what ignore means. All right? It says refuse to take notice of. These people, if you have all three or two or three or one of these three things, you will be ignored. They will not take notice of or acknowledge. It says disregard intentionally. This is what we're trying to understand when it comes down to melanated people. We're talking about in the era of Black History Month. We want to talk about what is going to cause us to evolve, why we don't support one another. We're going to deal with all this. And I'm going to tell you three things that if you have this, you're going to be ignored completely. Okay? Number one, I'm going to be coming from Proverbs, the first chapter, 20 through 21. It's necessary. Why I need to say this. It says, wisdom. If you have wisdom, you will, if you are in these spiritual streets, and I don't care if you're in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Christianity, if you have wisdom, you will be ignored. I'm going to explain it to you. Wisdom cries out, cries without. She utters her voice in the street. She cries in the chief places of the concord. That means she in the high places. And she said, in the openings of the gate. In the city, she utters her words, saying. That means wisdom is all these people out here lying about they can't find good teachers, wisdom is all around you. And that's why you're ignoring it, because you want to do your own thing. You don't want to follow proper protocols. You don't want to go through the proper channels. And so therefore you ignore the wisdom. Let me explain. It says, how long will ye simple ones? Will ye love simplicity? And the scornful delight in the scorning. And the fool hate knowledge. Fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof or my correction. And behold, I will pour out of my spirit on you and will make known my words unto you. You can have the spirit of wisdom and you are going to be ignored in these spiritual streets. I want you to know, sir and ma'am, that if you're going to walk in wisdom, you're going to be ignored completely by especially black people. I'm not being funny. It is true. Verse 24 says, because I have called and ye have refused. I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded. But ye have set a naught to my counsel. In other words, you didn't want to hear nothing. Do you realize that most people will ignore all your counsel? Will ignore all your advice? Will ignore all your metaphors, your ironic statements, and then when they get in trouble, you the first one they call. They will ignore all of your warnings, not some of them, every last one of them, all the insight that you gave, because that's what wisdom do, give you insight. And they will ignore that, but come to you when they... I'm going to tell you what you need to do. I'm going to follow the word. It said 25. But you have set to know all my counsel, and would none of my reproof, took none of my correction. This is what 26 said. I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock you when your fear comes. This is wisdom saying what she is going to do, and this is why when you get upset when we turn around and say, I told you so. This is when you find spiritual people mocking you, and you feel like it's not of God. Well, this is in the Bible. And this is what wisdom going to do, because you would not hear none of the correction. Nothing that I said make any sense to you. And you continue. In these spiritual streets, go right ahead. It says, when your fear comes as a death, as a desolation, and your destruction comes as a whirlwind, when your distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hate knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despise my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. If you, sir and ma'am, I'm talking to grown people. If you choose the path of wisdom, you will be ignored. But I promise you, you will be avenged of those that ignore you. I'm 52 years old. I have been ignored. I got a track record out of this world. But I have been ignored. I have been ignored by people who got less education than a mouse. You would think the lack of education would make people adhere to you. But even the uneducated will not hear wisdom. Even the educated will not hear wisdom. But at least the educated, you would think in their mind, oh, I know, just like Peter, because he was a fisherman, he didn't think the Lord knew he was talking about when he told him to go back and launch into the deep. But at least with the educated, you can kind of understand why they are not hearing you or not hearing you fully. But all of these people that ignore me the most are uneducated people, people that have no knowledge of these spiritual streets, have no knowledge of Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi. They only heard of Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, but they're not in it, and they do not function in the energy, the frequency, or the vibration. But those are the main ones got the nerve, the audacity, the ability to ignore the wisdom. Now, Proverbs 13 and 16. If you have this, you're going to have problems. They're going to ignore you. Proverbs 13 and 16. It says, every prudent man dealing with knowledge, but the fool lay open his folly. In other words, every man that is prudent or wise man deal in knowledge, but a fool displays his foolishness. Let me explain something to y'all. When you have knowledge, you have know-how. People that think they know, people that know it all, are going to ignore you. People that want to do what they want to do anyway are going to ignore you. I want to help all of you that want to get into this life and practice the ATRs and want to be a spiritual coach and all this other stuff. I need you to understand, if you're going to walk in ignorance, you can have a different reaction. But when you have knowledge, when they know you have knowledge, they're going to ignore you. They're going to ignore you if you got wisdom. They're going to ignore you if you got knowledge. You have the know-how. The Bible says even the poor man's wisdom was despised. When you know, they don't acknowledge your knowledge until their foolishness gets them in trouble. Then they want to know your know-how. Not before, only after. A fool always wants to be bailed out of something. But they will ignore your wisdom that you freely gave, your knowledge, your know-how, application. People are not trying to learn what spirituality is about. I've been saying that for the longest, and especially black people. You think because you black and melanated, that makes you an expert when it comes to spiritual knowledge, wisdom, understanding? You think because you are melanated that you understand energy, frequency, and vibration? This is for melanated people, sir. And don't come in my live saying, not even a greeting, sir. We talking black people talking. I wouldn't think you would enter into some other conversation if they were standing there talking and introduce yourself. That's not how you come into a conversation. Thank you for the block. Now, Proverbs 18 and verse 2. It says, the fool have no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover it. A fool has no delight, no pleasure. The scripture said, in all your getting, get you some understanding. I'm letting black people know very clearly and precisely that if you want to be ignored, choose any one of these. God forbid if you have all three. You're going to feel this feeling. But I want you to understand the gratitude that you're going to have is that these people are going to need you again. And you're going to be able to mock them in their calamity. The things that they set out to do, you're going to be able to watch it fall to it. It's kind of like this fuck around and find out phase that people that voted for Trump. We have absolutely no sympathy for these people because we cry loud and spare not. We inform, we try to educate, you ignore it. And so therefore, we feel like you deserve the day you get. Well, that's the same thing spiritual people have to understand. When people come to you and they ignore your counsel, they ignore your advice, they ignore your insight. Baby, the time will come where they will wish the God that they had listened. And that's the point. You have the right, you have the peace of mind to be able to mock them. No, I told a couple of people, I said, they were talking about this other spiritual. No, go on over there. See, I ain't the type of person that I don't mind you going over there. But stay over there. But stay over there. No, you're not gonna come back and forth. But I'm telling you, when you don't know what a good thing is, you ain't gonna never treat me right. You got to go over there and find out that the grass is not greener on the other side. You got to find out that these people don't have the knowledge I have. You have to find out these people don't have the measure I have. You understand? See, when you don't know what you got, you feel like you got to continue searching out and searching out and searching. What you're going to do is you're going to find yourself in a place of disloyalty. You're going to find yourself a place of unfaithfulness, and then nobody's going to trust you. These three things that I have walked in, that I understand, that only wise people are going to listen to my wisdom. Only people that are thirsty for knowledge is going to listen to my knowledge. Only people that hunger after righteousness and thirst after righteousness want to do stuff the right way. These other people, and when I say these other people, whoever they may be, they're not going to be concerned about anything until they need whatever help. These people are sitting right now. They have not gotten their membership in Apollo. They didn't get their membership in Orisha. They didn't get their membership in Haitian Voodoo. You see everything that's happening. it's not gonna affect me like that. Our people, at some point, gotta realize that we deserve the outlook. I'm gonna read this again because I think this is worth. It says, "I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes." And when your fear comes, it is as a desolation and your destruction, your utter demise, because you would not listen. Your destruction comes as a whirlwind to take your ass up out of here. And when you're distressed and you're angry, when you get all stressed out because you didn't want to listen, don't think I'm going to have pity. You deserve the stress. Even though we know that stress kills, you deserve every ounce of stress because you ignored knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm not here to tell you to do what to do. I'm here to tell you, just like I tell everybody else, you are grown, you got a right to believe and think how you want. But there's consequences to those beliefs. There's outcomes to those decisions. And you need to understand that. You grown. All that is true. You have a right never to practice voodoo. You have a right never to practice Ifa. You have a right never to practice Christianity. That's your divine right. But there's consequences. Because universally, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding go for everybody. Go for everybody. The rich, the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, the crippled, and the crazy. The gays, the straights, the bis, the trannies, all y'all. If you a human being on planet Earth and you melanated, it applies to us. And when, just like when, that's how I learned this statement. It go for me too. When you make your bed hard, you don't know what got to sleep in it. When black people learn, and I know you don't want to hear this, when black people learn you not hurting nobody for not having knowledge, for not having wisdom, and not having understanding. You ain't hurting nobody. When you ignore classes and opportunities to learn, you not hurting nobody because something coming along where you're going to find yourself wishing you had took that class, wishing you have took that opportunity, wishing, because you're going to suffer because of the lack of. There's consequences for not having knowledge. There's consequences for not having wisdom. There are consequences for not having understanding. What part of this you don't understand? What part of this you don't understand? It goes on to say, it said, then they will call on me. They're going to call on your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. It said, but I will not answer. I'm telling you what to do. Don't answer. They will seek you early, but they shall not find you. They're going to be looking for Apostle Ely everywhere. I ain't answering. I'm going to be unavailable. I'm going to have do not disturb. Because you deserve the day. Let me tell y'all something. As much as I come online and I share knowledge, well, I'm saying, I promise you, you cannot go to your ego. You cannot go to your ancestor and say, I did not know. What you go and say is, I ignored his knowledge, his wisdom, his understanding. I don't care if I was talking slurred speech. At the end of the day, I'm still getting this shit out. You understand exactly what I'm saying. And you're refusing because you're ignorant and you think you know. I'm the one with knowledge, wisdom, understanding because I'm exhibiting it. I'm displaying it. You talking all this shiggity and you ain't displaying nothing but foolish and tomfoolery. That's all you displaying. If people have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, they're going to display it. You see it in their life. You see it in their action. You see it in their magic. And they're going to be proficient in those things. This is the thing that I want black people to understand. To be excellent is to be excellent. You're not going to get to that excellent state of divine feminine or divine masculine without knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's the building block of all of our institution. It's the building block of our magical system. How can you function and truly walk in knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and be so ignorant? And I like this. For that they hate knowledge and shall not choose the fear of God. They would none of my counsel. They despise all of my reproof. I love this verse right here. And y'all should write this down. Therefore, they shall eat of the fruit of their own way. When somebody doing you wrong, all you say is you shall eat of the fruits of your own way. When somebody decides to backstab you, all you got to say, you shall eat the fruit of your own way. Let me tell you something. The Bible got some of the best curses. Imagine if you talk to your enemy and your enemy is speaking ill and slandering you, you shall say, you shall eat by the fruit of your own way. That's why the Bible says you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you live by gossiping and slandering people, you're gonna die by gossiping and slandering. I don't frustrate myself, and I'm trying to get some of y'all before y'all get into this, or y'all even if you into this, cut your stress level. You're going to be ignored. You're going to be ignored. You're going to be ignored until they need you. The poor man's wisdom, when it was needed, they're going to need you. All I'm telling you to do is do what the Bible says. Ignore their ass. Do not pick up the phone for them. Do not return their text. Leave them for them to eat of their own way. You chose foolishness. You chose to ignore knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You deserve the day you should have. That's what I want to talk about. I want to share on this Cancerian day. You shall eat of your way. Nobody did no work on you. Nobody read the Psalms on you. Nobody put a root on you. Nobody sent a spirit at you. You're eating the fruit of your own way. When you make a choice, sir and ma'am, you don't have to light a candle. You don't have to go to the cemetery. When you make choices to ignore knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I want you to understand that there's a law there. It's called, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. When you choose to make that decision, you're setting in motion. You're setting in motion energy to manifest. When you choose to reject the truth, you can't end up with a lie. If you reject up, you gotta have down. When you reject prosperity, you gotta go into poverty. When you reject health and well-being, you got to go into sickness and this desolation. We live in duality. You either choose life or choose death. You either choose blessing or choose curse. Every day we making choices, people. Every day melanated people, we making choices. But what you can't say is you wasn't told, you wasn't in. And let me tell y'all something. I'm going to be very popular in a little while. When Trump get doing all his shit and everything I said come to pass, I'm gonna be highly sought after. I'm doing well. I ain't gonna lie like I'm doing well now. But I know I'm gonna be doing better because all of a sudden, oh my God, Apostle Ely, I've been saying that shit the whole time, year in, year out. But all of a sudden, it's gonna become golden because now you're in a dilemma. And therefore, I'm going to name my price. That's how I'm going to laugh at you. That's how I'm going to mock you. When you could have got my membership for $3,500, $2,000, and $1,500, you're gonna pay the real price of what it is to get somebody like me. I'm telling you, I'm not saying anything behind your back. I'm telling you your face. And please, don't give me a sad story, because it ain't gonna mean nothing. And I'm not worried about you going somewhere else, because they still don't have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding. Only of us that revelation have come to us, we have those knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So therefore, you got to come my way or somebody like me. Either way, I win. Either you can do it now or you do it later. But it's going to be done. Because at the end of the day, knowledge doesn't have expiration date. Wisdom doesn't have an expiration date. And understanding doesn't have an expiration date. Continue on. And I encourage you to go after knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But I do want you to understand, you will be ignored in the beginning. But in the end, you will be highly sought after. And you will choose to ignore. All right? I hope this helped. I'm going to get something to eat. But I've been concerned about melanated people. And I want you to know that this is a part of the process, and there's growth necessary, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In these streets, you don't want to get caught out in these streets. These spiritual streets, you don't want to get caught out here with no knowledge, no wisdom, and no understanding. They're going to eat you alive, like piranhas. And then, who going to be the fool? All right? I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all a little later, all right?